Music as we know it in the United States has the fingerprints of ethnic African creators all over it. Pioneers like Louis Armstrong, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, or DJ Kool Herc created groundbreaking art during their respective times that shaped most of the genres we know today and continued to inspire creators of all kinds. The music industry owes so much to ethnic African creators, but even today, we see trends of habitual discrimination against black creatives, as their lighter-skinned counterparts are the ones put on pedestals, renowned as the biggest stars in music. Look at the Grammys, a staple of award show season in the States and the culmination of a year's worth of music. They've been around since 1957, and in each of those years, the award many would consider the crown jewel of the night, the album of the year is selected. In only 11 of those 66 years, the winner has been an ethnic African. Millions of viewers every year expect to see the most influential, era-defining, well-rounded collection of music from an artist or group each year. But instead, the public's met with the same realities every time. The most commercially marketable faces take home the prize at the end of the night. And those faces tend to be the same color. In defense of the institution of award shows, some argue that the Grammys can't or aren't supposed to pick the best album every year. It's far too arbitrary, and at the end of the day, the big names are what draw in viewers. The stars have to win, that's why they're stars. I respond by saying, the Grammys are the biggest star maker in the industry. Think about all the times you hear Grammy award-winning or Grammy-nominated artists before they step on stage, or SNL, or announced for a music festival. Award shows like the Grammys present artists to the mainstream and has incredible power to prop up an artist's career. Of course, the Grammys pick the most popular artist every year, but ask yourself, why are they the most popular? It's certainly at least part to do with the award. I dove into the recent history of the album of the year. For this next part, I used a website, Pitchfork, which is a music reviewing website that kind of gives a baseline of a consensus opinion about an album. It's not perfect. No music reviewing can be perfect. It's subjective in nature. And for this next part, the point I'm trying to make is not that an ethnic European has never made an album of the year album, or that the albums that won were bad or anything. This isn't to attack the subjectivity of music. It's just to give a baseline opinion and set the scene for the kind of habitual overlooking of ethnic African art in the mainstream. So with that, in 2013, Babel by Mumford Sons took home the album of the year, and when I looked it up on Pitchfork, it didn't even have a review, which is shocking for the actual album of the year. Metacritic, another website, ranked it a 63 out of 100. Respectable, but a far cry away from the nominated Channel Orange by Frank Ocean, which got a 9.5 from Pitchfork. 2 years later, Beck took it home with his album Morning Phase, another album of the year winner in the sixes, overshadowing the nominated self-titled album from Beyoncé. After that, Taylor Swift won her second award, and this time for 1989, beating out one of the debatably top albums of all time, To Pimp a Butterfly from Kendrick Lamar. 2017 was a second win for Adele and a second snub for Beyoncé, this time for Lemonade. Also another snub for Frank Ocean, and this time he didn't even receive a nomination for Blonde. 2018 saw Bruno Mars winning with 24K Magic, the lowest critically rated album to win in my research, defeating Kendrick Lamar's Damn, which scored a whole 3 points higher. 2023 sees the third Beyoncé Album of the Year snub, with her 9 out of 10 album Renaissance losing to Harry Styles' Harry's House. You might have noticed Beyoncé's name come up quite a few times in that last segment, and if you really know your stuff, you'll know she's the winningest artist in Grammy history. So why do I bring her up? She's the definition of an icon. The first solo artist to have 7 albums debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200. She sold over 200 million records. She's the Billboard Top Artist of the Decade. She's the picture of popular music. She has 88 Grammy nominations and the most wins of anyone ever. But in her nearly 20-year career, of her 7 albums, none has ever won Album of the Year. She's the picture of popular music, but has only been nominated 1 time for Best Pop Vocal Album and never won. She's only been nominated twice for Best Pop Solo Performance and never won. Incredible ethnic African artists can consistently win genre-specific awards, which the Academy boxes them into and reserves the most coveted pop or non-genre awards to the same faces almost every year. Until very recently, the Grammys gave out the award for Best Urban Contemporary Album. What's urban music? What does that mean to you? I'm not really sure. It's not a genre I can find on my Spotify page. And the Recording Academy doesn't do a great job of hiding what they mean by urban either. Every single winner of that award has been an ethnic African. Tyler, the Creator, said it best after Igor won Best Rap Album of 2020.
And then I guess can you go into, in recent days there's been a lot of news about the voting process at the Grammys. Has any of that affected the way that you're looking at winning this award today?
I'm half and half on it. On one side, I'm very grateful that what I made could just be, acknowledged in a world like this. But also, it sucks that whenever we, and I mean guys that look like me, do anything that's genre bending or that's anything, they always put it in a rap or urban category, which is, and I don't like that urban word. It's just a politically correct way to say the N-word to me. So when I hear that, I'm just like, why can't we just be in pop? Why can't it just, you know what I mean? So I felt like half of me feels like the rap nomination was a backhanded compliment. Like, my little cousin wants to play the game. Let's give him the unplugged controller so he could shut up and feel good about it. That's what it felt like a bit. But another half of me is very grateful that the art that I made could be acknowledged on a level like this when I don't do the radio stuff. I'm not played in Target. I'm in a whole different world than what a lot of people here listen to. So I'm grateful and
The media boxes, labels, and otherizes ethnic African creation. And because it's all so firmly in its own category, it can be villainized to no end. The rhetoric around hip-hop being culturally damaging is so outdated and charged with racist hate, and it has to end. To do that, the media has to stop labeling creation based on perceived race and start appreciating it for what it is, right next to the art that we've seen praised for so long. And the public, the viewers, the listeners, the kids deserve to see people that look like them be celebrated and to see wonderful art be uplifted for the good of everyone.